And welcome to West is Best Touring and its new episode. And hi, I'm Ray from West is Best, and today we're putting up the video for Sady Cape through to the highway and the old route at Sady Cape. Bit of background behind this. Many years ago, before the recreation park was put in, everybody used this northern track to get in and out of Sady Cape mostly, and we thought we'd go and discover and see if it's still around. And the history behind it: Sady Cape was full of fishermen, farmers with holiday shacks, other people with holiday shacks, and four-wheel drivers that used to go camping. Here's an example of one of the shacks that was there, but in today's environment, those shacks are gone, replaced. There are some plaques around the place, and they're replaced with the park, which has two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, caravans and trucks and tents.
As you enter the new recreation park, you'll come into the information bay. As you're seeing there is plenty of information on the boards about the local area, what you can do in the area, about the camp, the requirements of the camp, different attractions you can go and observe, what sort of distances are from special locations. There's also managed by the Dandaragan Shire, so make sure part of that is the national parks or the wildflowers, Stockyard Gully Cave, which I haven't done yet. I'm planning on trying to one day. The Pinnacles, I've been there just down the road, very short trip for a quick weekend away. Keep in mind that the Shire of Dandaragan manage this, and they actually have placed warning and information signs for you to observe. Please make sure you read them. There are snakes. Cliff areas off the limestone are dangerous. Don't go walking on the edges. Leave only your footprints. Shoot only pictures and take all your rubbish with you. Sady Cape is managed by fees. They do have a caretaker and the ranger. The caretaker generally comes around at night, and the rangers float around as well. And if you've got a boat, you can use it for a boat launching area in big weather conditions. On day one, we're camping up. That's Sean and myself. We've arrived at camp. Glenn will be along later with Owen. So we took in the chance to look at the sunsets, take a nice little stroll along the beaches and have a look around and really take in the environment that's there. And we went back afterwards and got back into getting our camp cooking done, getting our camps out of the way, and eventually Glenn did arrive. The next morning, well, we got up, not really early, just got ourselves organised, bit of breakfast. Once we had breakfast, we got packed up and got ourselves ready to go for the day. Train up, that's the direction we'll be heading today, north, and right up the end there you'll see, probably right at the edge of the point, would be Greenhead, and that's far away yet. We'll end up somewhere up that way. Out towards the west, the water from the camp, absolutely beautiful, great for a boat day. Sadly, the boat is not with us. Then you look at the camp, it is chockers, absolutely. So your timing of getting up here is pretty important. Watch out for those long weekends. This wasn't a long weekend, this was the normal weekend. I'd say the grey nomads were on there seeking the warmth up north. Sandhills, you pass those on the way in, along the new road that they got in. And obviously, like I said, we're going to be heading that north track.
Okay, it is time to move. Day one, we're going to push as far as we can to see where we go, and we'll see what happens at the end of the day where we pull up to do our fishing for the night. Glenn's just moved aside, Sean's off to the side. I've got my sand flag on. That's to make sure everybody can see me. So if you've got one, put one on. Just helps to look at for other people to see you over the top of the shrubs and that. Also got two ways. one that I keep on the chat channel. The other one I put on scan so I can hear any track movements that's around as well. And this is why you have a SAM flag. If this vehicle right now had a SAM flag, I probably would have pulled up before now and then let them out, knowing it was a single way out for a little bit. If you check on the back of this vehicle, it's actually got a caravan as well. So, you know, if you're a single vehicle, give way to multiple vehicle convoys or bigger vehicles with trailers. It's harder for them to move off the track. If you're a convoy and you come across a vehicle with a trailer, it's easier for you to move off the track than it is for them. And if you come across a single vehicle, you know, let's hope the single vehicle does the same thing back to you guys by letting you go in and they pull up to the side. Okay, here we go. While you're travelling along these tracks, one thing to consider, there are other camp spots along here. So when you're approaching these camp spots, make sure you slow down. There could be kids, dogs or whatever around. You don't want to be upsetting somebody's weekend away, and definitely don't want to be affecting the family holiday. The other thing is people use these tracks for access to and from, especially to the toilets up the back on the back in the camp. So just make sure that watch out for the pedestrians that also walk along here. The other thing that I'd like to say is don't make any new tracks. Stick to what's already there. There's enough tracks there for everybody to use. There's enough tracks there to keep everybody interested. If we make other tracks, it is more than likely they are going to turn around and shut these areas down and then lock us right out, and we'll lose more access points, more than what we've lost already to date. Okay, we're a lucky state. We still have access to our beaches and a lot of our bush areas. Just having come from over east over 4 years, a lot of areas aren't accessible. Beaches are definitely a write-off, not allowed to drive on except the special ones, and then you have to apply for permits and they're limited. So how about just look after what we've got, keep these government and environmentals all happy, and we should be able to keep our access. For now, just sit back, enjoy the video as it goes. I'll let the music play up and speed up the video a bit for the tracks so you get an idea of what some of the tracks are like. We'll make note that through this section, it is, you know, you probably get in with two-wheel drive, you probably get in with an all-wheel drive with a little bit of clearance, and you'll definitely get in with a four-wheel drive. Just watch some of the bays that you pull off to. Some may need four-wheel drive, some don't. So, and there's a certain point from this point onwards, it's basically 4x4. Don't even try and bring your two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive up here. It's not built for these roads. And the other thing you be prepared for is this portion of the road will leave evidence that you've been up here down the side of your vehicles, give you the nice little pinstripe trophies, and you'll have to spend a weekend or two trying to buff them out. So yeah, just be prepared. The roadway's rocky. It's hard dirt, there's a little bit of soft dirt. Again, look after the tracks, let your tyres down. I'm running 15 in the front and 25 in the back, and that's on a 100 series wagon. So yeah, keep going and enjoy the trip. So, just to give you an idea, I'm running my cruiser, it's an auto, and I'm running it at second gear, low range, third gear when I'm cruising along a bit, and when I get to these rocky bits, I drop it into first gear and just let it crawl around and up there. Don't use try to rip, roar and tear up there. You're only going to do damage the track, you're going to damage your vehicles, and more than likely you probably damage your tyres. So let's just look after the vehicles and the track. Again, a reminder, you will end up with pinstripes. You see how close these bushes are getting, and yes, we definitely had a few on vehicles that went up this day. As you'll see in a minute, there's a sign up here saying Nature Reserve. Please obey the rules that are around reserves, okay? Keep in note that there is also a marine reserve along here, so there is selected areas you're not allowed to fish, so make sure you check the signage carefully, because some of it looks the same and you think you can fish, but there'll be a no fishing sign, okay? Okay, this is our first turn off coming up. We'll all get together, go for a walk, have a look over the corner and make sure it's accessible for us, and yeah, please note that we don't just park on the track, we reverse back and get off the track, so if other people are coming past they can come past. But yep, this is what you do to check make sure that you can get through. Otherwise you can sometimes get stuck, and a lot of work needed to get out. Here I am. I'm on my way back from doing the walk over the hill and having a look. I'll come back, have a chat with the guys, let them know what it's like, and we'll proceed over this hill and go and have a look. This will be prospect number 2 camp and fishing location, but we'll have a look anyway. Here we go. First up, the cruiser. I'll go up and get up the top, and then call the other guys through as it clears for them to come through. Okay, in the cruiser I'm using second gear low range, just keeping the revs up. It does look a bit soft up the top here. There's a couple of big wombat holes as well. Leads you into the bushes. As you see, it is pretty rough. The sand flags definitely whipping around. And I'll just come up there a little bit and pull off to the side and then pull the other guys through. Yep, so first up, Glenn, who is already on his way, but I got out to get the camera. Obviously the Prado made it up fairly easy, and yep, man got his link proceeded on and went down to the beach area. Next up was Sean, and Sean was coming up, so I made sure I stayed out of the way just in case he come flying up. But we'd already warned and could have been good soft, and a few of the wombat holes that lead into the bush, so we'll obviously take that into consideration when he comes up. But we're not all thrashing our cars, we're just taking it steady, treating them like proper touring vehicles, and not overworking them too hard. Okay, now that Sean and Glenn were up, it's time for me to proceed and head down to where they are. The view of the water when you get around the corner here is magnificent. Just the blues set against the white sand, set against the green bushes. It's a great view of all. Glenn and I chose to park up here. Sean went around the corner, parked on the edge there, where there was actually a rock ledge he parked on, and stood from there. We all stood from there and took in the views. After a quick discussion, even though it was still only early, we chose not to use this as a camp fishing area, as when reviewing it, there's not a very good beach access. It's off the cliffy edge, so we thought we'll just move on from Camp 3 and look for the next camp fishing area that we can get to. So back out the way we come, and we'll turn left and keep heading to the next location. Here comes one of those situations. A 3-car convoy meets a single vehicle. We've pulled up. He's chosen to go off to the side. He's gone down there. So what we'll do is we'll just keep proceeding along and let him go down there, and we'll keep looking further up the track. Just up ahead of us now, it starts to get tighter in the track. It starts to get a little bit more technical as well. A few more rocks and soft dirt and blind corners and everything. So just take your time. Try and avoid your damages or whatever to your vehicle with the scratches down the pinstripe, but it's pretty hard in this environment and these sorts of closeness. You can see it by what's in the video. The rocks, they don't look much, but some of these rock areas have some fairly good holes in them and dips and lumps, so you know they can do damage. So slow it up, just take your time. Overhead as well, don't do any damage to your aerials or anything else you've got on your roof, especially awnings if you've got them to the side. Consider those. Yep, so this spot here, we'd already spoken to the people involved that are camped down here. So we sort of like decided that we'll just grab the drone and put it up and have a look around. Obviously we weren't sort of like looking for other camp areas to camp and fish next to. We were looking for something a little bit more secluded. This group was already on there, so we let them have the area and let them enjoy their beach area and their camping and fishing area. And we just put the drone up, had a look around. Just the magic colours that are shown in the Australian bush here, and the watercolour. The water conditions even better. Should have had the boat out there. As you can see, the camp's there, and we're also parked off to the right hand side. And I think it's time to bring the drone back and let's proceed to our next location. As you'll see up through these areas, we start to really get a walloping on the vehicles. I know Paul Sean back there, he's trying to keep as much scratches off the Fortuna, and yeah, good luck Sean. So far the video gives you an idea of the sort of driving conditions and the bush that we're contending with, which is not really harsh. It's good touring environment, but still you got to manage it, drive slowly, look after the vehicles. We did go on a bit further, but I think it's time now that we moved on to our camp fishing spot, which we found a sweet little spot just up the road here. We actually walked the road that we were going to take up and go camping, and saw another spot further up. So we thought we'd try and get the rest of the way up here and then set camp. I mean, it was only 11:30 or 11 o'clock, so it wasn't quite camp up time at all. But we didn't want to stretch it too hard. We reached over halfway. But unbeknown to us, this track had something else to throw at us. It got tighter, it got rougher, and it certainly stretched us out a bit. So we ended up going up here a bit further. As you'll see, it does get tighter and rougher. Sadly, we turned around and went back to the other spot. And the reason we went back to the other spot, because the spot we spotted further up was actually in a marine reserve, so that stopped us from fishing, which is what we had planned to do for the weekend as well. So it was turn around, go back, and camp spot where you're allowed to fish. Taking in mind, we had to backtrack through all this again. But the challenge was set, and the fishing was the priority. Now we're at our fishing spot, and where we're going to fish the night away and do what we need to do for dinner and everything. I'll let the drone show you what we end up stopping at. As you can see, one of the first activities, they're into fishing. Boogie boards come out for a while as well. Beach is accessible by vehicle. There's actually a couple of vehicles off to the right. Some of us may have forgot our fishing rod due to other situations, but hey, why whinge when you can sit back and relax in this environment and observe what's going on around you. Great having crystal clear water, beaches that you can walk on. Yes, it's a bit weedy on the beach, but the environment's there. And as you can see, the scenery around us is absolutely stunning. You cannot knock back and say the west is definitely not the best. Here, Sean hooks up. Now the funny thing is, he did this 4 or 5 times and ended with the same result. So when Sean did hook up finally, we thought he was in, and there it goes. Gets it towards the surf in the shore area, and off it comes. Again, Sean's back on again. This time, after a few pro tips from the fishing gods, Glenn and myself, it looks like Sean is going to have success keeping the rod low. The tailor can't flick off as easy, and he'll land this one, and that's his dinner for tonight. Don't worry, Glenn got his tailor as well, and no one picked up a squid. So feed tonight. So to leave this video to the end, I set the camera up on the hill over the camp to watch the sunset. So while this is happening, I've sped it up a bit and just sit back, relax, watch the sun setting and listen to the music, and keep an eye out for episode 2, which brings in day 2, which was a little bit more fun for Glenn and I, as Sean ended up going home early, had other things to do, but Glenn and I certainly made it worthwhile and finished the track. Okay, thank you, and keep watching.